She appeared first as a silhouette behind a curtain of embroidered silk, her outline softened by lamplight and steam. The room around her shimmered with heat, perfumes, and the gentle echo of water trickling over marble. Her name was Melek, a woman of the Ottoman harem whose presence alone reshaped the air, slow, hypnotic, intentional. Before she stepped forward, she lifted her hand to her collarbone, letting her fingers glide across her skin in a gesture both delicate and deliberate. The movement was small, but it carried the entire weight of the ritualistic sensuality that defined her world. Everything she did, every breath, every glance, was part of a coded language of desire refined through centuries of tradition and ceremony. If you enjoy the deep research behind these episodes, please consider subscribing and tapping the bell. It's free for you, but it helps this project grow and continue bringing forgotten stories back to life. Melek's story begins inside the hamam, the Ottoman bathhouse where women gathered not only to cleanse their bodies, but to awaken their senses. The thick, aromatic steam wrapped around her as she walked, each step measured, almost musical. Before performing any ritual, Melek reached for her first object. The kese, a woven exfoliating cloth, passed gently along the skin. She paused to warm her hands against the marble basin, as if preparing herself emotionally before the cloth touched her arm. The kese was not an ordinary cleansing tool. In the world of Ottoman women, it symbolized renewal, removing what was dull to reveal what glowed beneath. Melek pressed it lightly against her skin in long, slow strokes, not rushing, allowing the rhythm to build an unspoken tension. The act was sensual in its patience, ritualistic in its meaning. Women used it not to entice the eye, but to honor the body as a vessel of warmth and spirit. Next, she reached for a small copper bowl filled with rosewater. Before lifting it, she tilted her head slightly, letting a few strands of dark hair fall forward, another subtle gesture designed to guide the viewer's attention. Rosewater in the Ottoman world was more than fragrance. It calmed the heart, softened the skin, and prepared the mind for closeness. Melek dipped her fingertips into the liquid, then traced its cool path along her neck. The scent rose around her, delicate yet intoxicating, whispering stories of ancient palaces, secret gardens, and forbidden nighttime conversations. Nearby lay amber oil, thick and golden. Melek uncorked the bottle slowly, her thumb brushing the edge of the glass. The aroma drifted into the air, warm, resinous, almost hypnotic. Ottoman women used amber oil as a sensual enhancer, massaging it into their wrists and behind their ears. Melek warmed a drop between her palms before pressing it into her skin with gentle, circular motions. The oil deepened her natural scent, creating an aura that lingered in the air long after she left a room. She then moved toward a low wooden chest decorated with mother-of-pearl inlays. Inside, resting in a bed of silk, lay one of the most enigmatic objects of Ottoman femininity, the mirror of polished silver, curved slightly, its surface catching the flicker of lamplight. Before lifting it, Melek touched her lips, not to paint them, but to focus herself. Ottoman mirrors did not reflect sharply. They softened the features, transforming the viewer into something dreamlike. Women used them not to inspect imperfections, but to invoke confidence, charm, and presence. Melek lifted the mirror and gazed into it, her expression gentle and knowing, as though recognizing not her appearance, but her power. Next, she retrieved a small string of prayer beads, tespi, not used here for prayer, but for rhythm. The beads slid through her fingers, one by one, with soft clicks that shaped the silence around her. Some women used the beads to steady their breath before intimate ceremonies, letting the repetitive motion calm the heart and sharpen the intention. Melek moved the beads slowly, her fingers gliding in a way that suggested both devotion and desire. From another corner of the chest, she brought out a set of silk veils dyed in deep jewel tones, emerald, wine, and gold. Before draping them over her shoulders, she passed her palms down their length, appreciating the smoothness as if speaking to the fabric. These veils were not meant to conceal, but to create allure through suggestion. As Melek wrapped one loosely around her arms, its softness moved with her breathing, producing a see but not see effect that invited curiosity while maintaining dignity. Ottoman sensuality relied not on exposure, but on imagination. Finally, she selected the most symbolic object of all, a small vial of attar, a concentrated perfume crafted from petals pressed under delicate layers of cotton and sandalwood. Before opening it, she bowed her head slightly. This was a luxury reserved for special rituals. She dabbed the attar onto the inside of her elbow, where the warmth of her body released its fragrance slowly. The scent was deep, enveloping, almost spiritual. Attar was believed to align the inner and outer self, preparing a woman not just to be seen, but to be felt. When Melek finished her preparations, she stood in the center of the hamam as lamplight shimmered across the steam. Every object she touched, every gesture she made, revealed not simply beauty but intention. Ottoman sensuality was never crude or careless. It was structured, delicate, a cultivated awareness of one's presence and energy. The keys awakened the skin, the rosewater softened the spirit, the amber oil warmed the senses, the mirror invoked confidence, the beads created rhythm, the veils shaped mystery, the attar sealed the ritual. Together, they formed the private world of Ottoman women, a world where eroticism was sacred, subtle, and deeply intertwined with identity. Melek's final gesture was to place her hand over her heart, acknowledging that desire was not something to perform, but something to understand. Through her, the Ottoman era reveals its erotical artistry, its devotion to sensory depth, and its belief that beauty, when intentional, becomes a form of power. If you enjoy the deep research behind these episodes, please consider subscribing. It's free for you, but it helps this project grow and continue bringing forgotten stories back to life.